Perhaps we haven't met. I'm Discord.
Another chaotic battle!
Taste the scream of death.
Greetings, comrades. This is 88 Gelu, and we are back with another chaotic trading cards online battle. This time it is my Arrthoa deck, Captain's Equilibrium, versus Anonymous, spelled without an E, 97, using, the deck seems to be called Chinook, but I think somewhere else I saw that it was called Worse Before Better, which makes sense with the strategy of the deck he's using, so I'm going to keep it with that. So, I'm not sure if I mentioned the changes that I made to this deck last time I recorded with it. I'm not sure if I've recorded a game of this deck before on Trading Cards Online. I don't think I have. But I believe when I originally made the deck, I wasn't, instead of using the Gorram armor, I was using an aspect amplifier of bravery. And instead of using Loma, I was using Somnort. But now instead I'm using Loma and the aspect amplifier of wit. Because Loma's a decent enough fighter, which is good because she has Defender. And on the front row, I have my two Attacats, one of which has the Biomower cycle, so it can reach all around the board. And the other one has the Gorram armor. And then on the top also we have Maxor Protector of Perum with the Orcus of Undin, so that he can get water. And then in the back, of course, we have Arrthoa with the Ulmar's Projector. And over here we have Donmar with the Gigan Trooper. So all of his stats become 70. Now, in the last few games that I've played with this deck, I've been wondering a lot if I should reconsider what Mujiks I have here. Now, I don't have any of the good overworld denial Mujiks, like how he has Interlude of Interruption, or some people have Refrain of Denial. Both of which I think would be much better than having two cadence clashes. I like having a Symphony of Shielding, but I think it might be better to have a second. I'm probably good with one Battle Song of Renewal and one Song of Resurgence, because most of them can, all of them except for Maxor do start with a Mujik counter, so basically all of them can cast Battle Song of Renewal. The other thing I'm wondering about getting rid of is Fanfare of the Elements. I've never really had to use it. It's there in case someone's playing an Elements removal deck, which will, of course, utterly crush my Arrthoa deck. Also, if someone went in back and killed Arrthoa, which did happen in a previous game that I didn't end up recording, both because it ended in a draw because the player had to leave early, and because it wasn't a good representation of my deck, because after Arrthoa died, none of my guys could use basically any of the attack cards, which is the major drawback to the deck, and the reason why there's so many, or should be so many, defenses against it. The main reason why it was able to succeed and I couldn't use Defender or my Ulmar Projector that was because the location he got was Prexor Chasm as location 1, and because there was no open space left on my board, he also couldn't return with Ulmar's Projector. Anyway, so as you can see, here is a very interesting deck type. It's a Gorram Danian General deck, so you've got all the tribes present. Gorram obviously being the Danian, since his powers don't get stronger if you have a Danian in the discard pile anyway. He has... and the first location is Ropa Shock, the ocean with no water, so initiative fire. Air and earth deals 5 extra damage, and water changes the active location. So he's fighting with the Gimli that gets surprise against my Maxor. Starting off with the same energy. The main problem is that there aren't... What I'm hoping for is to get a water attack, because then I can change his location. Because I don't have any air-earth attacks. And already right off the bat, he's sacrificing Clowham. And killing and dealing an immediate 25 damage to Maxor, because the lightning canisters does it an extra 5. I heal 10 with Donmar's ability. Now, I think he said that did 30. No, 25. Yeah. And now I do him 30 back with Directed Bravery, but I forgot about Gimli's ability, which makes me take 5 whenever I deal him 20 or more damage. Now he's going to use Piercing Brilliance for 5. Fine. That means my next attack will do 5 extra damage, so I can do 15 with Valor Continuum. He's going to use Melody of Mirage, so his Gimli stays at 30. And then if he can do me just 15 more damage, which then he does with Tian, which I'm not sure if that was the best move, to sacrifice both of them right off the bat. Because I only had 15 energy left, and he has a Sleep Sting in his hand, which would have dealt me 10. Of course, he didn't know what I had in my hand, and my next attack would have done 5 extra damage, but it would have been unlikely that I would have been able to deal him 30. Anyway, the next location is Doors of the Deep Mines, so creatures with water gain an extra 10. So all of his creatures now have both Fire 5 and Air 5. Wonder if he's keeping track of that, because I have a feeling that we may have forgotten about it. No, we didn't. What happened is I'm fighting his Gorram, so with Atakat. So already he's in a pretty bad position, because Gorram is supposed to be bulking up the rest of his guys. And I would have assumed that Zerv would have had a defender gear of some kind. But Gorram isn't really essential for the deck to work. He just pumps up all his other creatures. And Gorram, of course, isn't that good of a fighter. He's more of a supporter, because he has no element types. And all of his abilities pertain to elements. And of course, Atakat has fairly high courage and speed, so that doesn't help his case much. So Gorham's defeated. That means that the support, and already after the second turn, half of his board is gone. Notably, he did kill off 2 of his own guys in order to kill off Maxor. But I'm not sure if he would have been better served to wait and see if he could have done more with Gimli against Maxor before sacrificing Tian. And then he could have sacrificed Tian to help defeat this Atakat and prevent Gorram from being killed. Anyway, here I'm going to use a Traditionalist Charge to, I think, get rid of Mind Void, which is one of the more annoying attacks to have to use in this deck, because it forces you to change the placement of a Muji counter onto the creature that used the attack. Here I use Donmar's ability again to heal 10 energy. Of course, all overworld creatures have 10 extra energy, thanks to Kiru City, which all of our creatures are. Going to use Interthink to put an extra Muji counter on Loma, so she has the 2 access to use her ability, and 1 more to use something like a Cadence Clash or a Song of Resurgence. Here he's going to use Consuming Flame for 20, thanks to Gimli having Fire 5. Gonna use Synaptic Acceleration for 15. And then with its discard, I can easily discard a weaker attack like Unbalanced Charge. The main problem is that his attacks are doing a standard of 15 to 20 damage, while many of my attacks are doing between 10 and 15. I'm going to use Caster Warsong. He's going to counter that with a Cadence Clash. Sorry, Negate. I've been playing a lot of Magic. And then I'm going to Cadence Clash his Cadence Clash, which, not sure if that was the best decision. I could have Cadence Clashed my Battle Song of Renewal to return it to my hand. He would have lost his Cadence Clash, and then I could have played it again. No, I couldn't have, because he doesn't have any more Muji counters. But I could have played Song of Resurgence. Here he's going to use Melody of Miracles without having to pay its Muji cost. He heals 15. And he's going to do 30 damage with Whirlwind Scythes. I try to stop that with Loma's ability, forgetting it only targets Loma, so instead I use a Symphony of Shielding. And I'm just going to let that attack, I'm just going to let that Muji go through. So at least I get Symphony of Shielding back and have a chance to use it again. And he has one less negation Mujic. And I know that I'm probably gonna... Atticat's gonna die anyway with the attacks I have in my hand. So Unbalanced Charge, it's 15 to 5. It's super close. And then he's gonna Consuming Flame for 20. I'm gonna Song of Resurgence for 20. And then he's gonna negate it with Interlude of Interruption. And there goes my board cycling Atticat. Even though I'm not sure if I could have defeated him in the next attack anyway, but I would have at least been able to get myself back up to 10 and deal him 10. So now the next location is going to be Foothold Assault Trench, which benefits both of us. So both of our attacks are going to do 5 additional damage. Now the thing is that we actually both completely forget about the ability of this location during almost the entirety of this battle. It's Gimli versus Atticat. Atticat has the Zerum armor, which is actually optimal for Foothold Assault Trench. So I'm just going to be calculating on the side how much damage we should have done with our attacks as opposed to what we did. So his first attack, I think, is going to be Plasma Arrow, which would have done 35 originally, but because of the Zerum armor, it only does 20. Now, I can't heal. So that's obnoxious. I can't use Donmar's ability, so things are going to get really tense. But I'm going to use Bravelint. I say it does 25. It should have done 30, so he should be at 30 right now. And I take 5 also because of Gimli's ability, so it should be 35 to 30. His next attack would have done 25, but it only does 20. So right now, Foothold Assault Trench is really only benefiting me, though I didn't realize it at the time, and neither did he. So this next attack does 10. Sorry, should have done 15, so he should be at 15. And I'm going to gain 5 and get a Muji counter, which means now Atticat can cast Symphony of Shielding, which I'm going to use now, and this is going to be what saves me. He doesn't have any more Interruption Mujic. He kind of expected that, as you can guess from his response. And I thought I lost here. Primal Smash dealt him 25, which means he should be at negative 10. But we both thought it did 20. We forgot about the location. Clash Jet would have killed me. But I then realized that... Oh, wait. Foothold Assault Trench was in play. Primal Smash would have dealt you 25. I would have won. I ask him if he wants to recalculate. Recalculating, now I see that the real difference would have been I would have been at 10 and he would have been at -10. So actually, I still would have won, even if he hadn't say, okay, it's fine, you won that one. And there's me taking out the attack cards, try and measure how much damage I did. And now the annoying thing where the battle gear is just going to stay on top of the creature for no good reason. And he gets a Music counter thanks to Ropa Shock, which means that now he can cast a Cadence Clash or heal a target adjacent Overworlder. Here's me trying to fix out my battle gear. On my screen, it was still on top of Atacat, but here, as you can see, it clearly wasn't. Anyway, his location is the Overworld Library. Wisdom attacks do 5 more, Courage attacks do 5 less. Initiative Water, which would go to me, except our creatures can't fight each other. So Zerv is just going to move up 1, and so is Gimli. Now my next location is Lake Kenepo, ritual site. Creatures cannot gain or lose element types. It's going to be Zerv versus Atacat. Now at first this would have been an intense match, except I drew Mega Roar, which is an instant 40 damage right off the bat, which is insane, and it's really hard to come back from that. He's going to heal 5 and not deal 5. I guess just heal 5. Yeah. No, he says it did 5. Why would it do 5? Oh, his attacks do an additional 5 damage against creatures with element type water. Play a power cut for 10. He's down to 20. I have a rain spears in my hand. I want to save it for the battle against Gimli, which I know is going to be a tough one. And I'm at 55 energy, so I'm not that... Sorry, 50 energy. And I haven't used Donmar's ability yet, so I'm not that concerned. So I'm just going to use another power cut. I'd be at negative power, but whatever. Gotta reshuffle my attack deck. Which always takes a while. Always the most dreaded part of these games. And the main thing is that here, Rhyme of the Reckless would definitely save him. Sorry, it would have before. When I used Mega Roar, that would have almost killed me. And that he would have definitely killed me with his oncoming attacks. But because he had no Mujix, then... unfortunately, that's not the case. Now, I think Tian does have 2 Mujic counters. So just another show that Tian may have been able to help if Tian stuck around for longer. No, wait, except Tian did spend one of his Mujic counters to cast Melody of Mirage. So never mind, Tian had no Mujic counters left. All in all, even though the battle doesn't look like it was that even, the battles themselves were very intense and very close. And I got really lucky with that Mega Roar, and I'm going to get really lucky again, because I just drew it again, which is insane. You don't expect... I didn't expect to redraw Mega Roar after shuffling my attack deck. That was an insane amount of luck. That probably won me the game. Because I'm not sure if Atacat had lost against Gimli, if Loma would have been able to defeat Gimli. Here I forgot that I didn't gain a Mujic counter because Ropa Shack's ability at the end of combat engaged creatures gain a Mujic counter only applies if you move into the Mirage as opposed to moving out of it. Okay, And here we're in the storm tunnel. Definitely optimal location for him. 5 attacks do 5 less. Air attacks do 5 more. Water attacks do 5 less. His Clash Jet already does... I mean, it should do more than 20, shouldn't it? I think that should have done 20 with his Fire 5, 25 with the Torwig, unless he didn't have the stat power check. But then it still should have done 25. It should have done 25 to 30. So I don't know why he said that the attack does 20. Oh, because of my Zerum armor, of course. Duh. Otherwise, it would have done 30, and that would have been insane. Just goes to show Zerum armor can completely change the outcome of attacks being successful or not. It's such a game-changing gear, and which I didn't realize for the longest time. The real question is, so... He's going to do another 20 with Sleep Sting. So, if Rhyme of the Reckless, I'm just seeing out of curiosity, would have... if Rhyme of the Reckless would have been used on Atacat from Mega Roar, Zerum Armor wouldn't have reduced the 40 damage to 20 from Mega Roar, which would be insane. And here, the game is won. Didn't want to overkill it that much, so just a Valor Continuum for 10. Good game, everybody. Here, just asking him if he minds if I put it on YouTube, because it's always good to be respectful. So, yeah, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Finally back with some chaotic content. Woo! So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I think the next deck I'm going to try out is going to be my Raging Inferno deck, I think is the name of it, which is the Reckless Fire Underworld deck. So yeah, guys, thanks again for watching. Goodbye.